Jay, this is a guilty plea, but the penalty phase is still ahead. All along, Cruz and his team have said, if you take the death penalty off the table, we'll plead guilty, life without, no problem. And the state of Florida has said, no, we're not doing that. So they proactively said, fine, we're going to plead guilty anyway. Is this a strategy, a trial strategy, so that potential jurors aren't subjected to the obvious and can just come in and decide the ultimate choice? Should they recommend death or life without?
Well, it's obviously a strategic decision that the defense attorneys have talked over with Mr. Cruz. The question becomes, though, since the death penalty is not off the table, should they have just gone to trial, admitted guilt right in the opening statement, let the prosecution put on their case, but allow Mr. Cruz to be humanized? The more times these jurors see Mr. Cruz sitting with his lawyers, having conversations with his lawyers at table, the more human he becomes. It's harder to come back with the death penalty for 12 people if they see a human being sitting here. Now what's going to happen is he is pleading guilty, and I agree, it's a hurdle that was not going to be overcome. He would have been found guilty, most likely given the evidence in this matter. But will this jury have enough time to give Mr. Cruz an identity? Will they be able to humanize him? Or will this be such a proceeding where they're going to come in and say, look, he's done this, he's admitted to this, why should we put him in jail for the rest of his life? So I think, obviously, don't know all the facts, but strategically, it's a question of whether or not you humanize your client in front of a jury by having them spend more time with him.
Cannon, we did see Nikolas Cruz seem to struggle during jury selection for the battery case that he was facing, and it was shortly after that, it was the day after that this came to light, that they had a hearing, was put on the record. And it may or may not have been the defendant himself that said, I can't do this, I want to plead guilty. But to Nishay's point, he was obviously part of the discussion. And this is video of him at that, during that jury selection, where he just broke down and cried while they were talking about the Parkland shooting in front of these prospective jurors. At this point, how do you humanize him? Because the law of the land in Florida is that capital punishment is part of the deal. The jury that will be assembled will be a death-qualified jury, meaning all of those jurors will say, yes, I have it in me to impose this recommendation. Well, I don't know that you can come up with another case that's more egregious that this wouldn't apply. How, from a defense attorney's standpoint, what's the strategy, and how do you get Nikolas Cruz humanized in a shorter period of time than if you'd have gone through the whole thing?
Well, Ted, I think that's an excellent point. Here we have something that I have not seen in other high-profile cases, such as R. Kelly or Durst, where the defendants have a defense that is private. In this case, Mr. Cruz has a public defender that is representing him. I have a bias as a private attorney. However, I do have a shout out to the Manhattan and the Bronx defenders who represent people every day. But I do believe that they would say that they are overloaded, that they have a lot of cases. So that may have been part of the strategy of the defense to just go ahead and allow Mr. Cruz to plead, because they did not feel that they were prepared as a defense. So again, these are all things that have to be looked at by Mr. Cruz, and ultimately he made the decision that he would go with public defenders, and ultimately he made the decision that he would plead.
Again, we are expecting this hearing to begin at any moment. The defendant is in the courtroom. The gallery, according to our Joylyn Nakrin, who is in the courtroom, is packed. It's packed with family members who will be face-to-face with Nikolas Cruz, and they have been to other proceedings along the road here. But Nishay, this is a procedural event. You know, he's going to get up there. There'll be the judge will address him, make sure he knows what he's getting into. That said, as sort of black and white as it is, it's emotional, and it will be emotional because of the presence of those family members listening to him say guilty, guilty, guilty 17 times, corresponding to each and every one of the people that lost their lives. There they are at Stoneman Douglas High School. What do you expect to see here over the next hour or so, however long this takes?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is getting through the plea, even for non-capital cases, for certain defendants to get through a plea where they have to get up there and admit it and know that everyone's eyes in that courtroom are on him and that everybody in that courtroom, at least the family members, hate him. It's going to be a process for him to say guilty 17 times to the murders and then to the attempted murder. So I think this process is going to take some time. I anticipate there'll be a breakdown in him if he already was breaking down and crying during the jury selection of the other matter. So I think you're going to be in a situation where this is going to be a slow process. I think the judge is going to give him and has to give him all the time he needs to get through this. And I would not be surprised if Mr. Cruz breaks down. There'll be multiple breaks during the proceedings, and this will take some time. I also wouldn't be surprised if they don't get through a full plea hearing today. He has the opportunity to change his mind up until and before he says guilty to each and every count. So I think we're all going to be standing here waiting to see if he can make it through all these guilty pleas.
Yeah, it will be fascinating. We're being told now that there is some sort of technical issue, and the judge's assistant says that not clear if it's going to be a short delay or a long one. We'll be here, and you won't miss any of it. We'll slip in a quick break, though, right now and get you in